Okay, here we go. Good morning. Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day now. You know, a lot of people get confused. They always think, I think it was originally on the 31st of the month. And they moved it to a Monday holiday. So the date gets moved around now. I don't know what that is done for, but it's not really, it's a holiday, but only if you work in a bank or a regular business. If you work in any other job, gas stations, retail, food, you're busting your hump today because it's sales day and nobody wants to cook, especially if it's raining, which it looks like it might do any second down here. So anyhow, before we go, I want you to all remember those guys that you spit on and you threw stuff on back during the Vietnam War. Those men defended a document that's now under a greater attack than ever before. It's called the United States Constitution. So be grateful to any relative that served in the military. Honor them. It's getting to become forgotten. The reasons behind the holiday are actually becoming forgotten, and it's becoming more of a let's go make political speeches and crap like that. The same happens with the 4th of July, all the national holidays. But look, take a moment or two out to, say thanks to the veterans in your family, the people that gave their lives. If they're still alive, go visit them, Say thank you. Okay? Now, my first story is Israel killed 45 rebels in a camp for displaced people in order to kill the two suspected senior Hamas officials. That ain't good math, folks. You know, 43 people died so you could kill two. And those 43 people are innocent. They did not innocent for you because they're Palestinians or something, But now, if you had turned the tables on this, and Hamas had killed 45 people in order to kill two Israeli senior officials, the world would be friggin' pissed. Well, I'm pissed because I don't think it's right, I understand there's such a thing as collateral damage in war, okay? But when you don't know for facts that these people are there, it's listed as suspected senior Hamas officials. They don't know if they were or not. So you go in, you kill 45 people. Now theoretically that makes 43 of them innocent. But if you're wrong about that, that makes all 45 of them innocent, and you guys are butchers. I'm sorry about that, I really am. I don't know any other way to describe the issue. War is not a game. War is not a fun thing. There's no, I don't care if you look at the pilots, whatnot that went on in World War One, where the pilots would save one another and, escort them to their fields and everything, and stop fighting on Christmas Day and stuff like that. It's not a gentleman's sport. It never has been. Okay, it's a battle of attrition. See how many people you could kill, whether they're innocent or not. Okay. The assumption is in war there is no such thing as an innocent. Well, if a child is 3 years old or 2 years old, I say that's an innocent individual because that one hasn't been conditioned to hate anything. Right? Remember, hate is a learned emotion. You are not born hating other people. Love, hate, all those emotions are acquired through what's the word I want to use? Being next to people that do that, It's an assimilated emotion. You're not born with it, so That's why wars never solved anything. You know the song, War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. That's 100% correct. Okay, number 2 on my story list today. We have Elon Musk says AI will take all our jobs. Yet this moron is spending billions of dollars on AI, and he keeps it up and he keeps it up and he keeps going. And he keeps supporting it, yet he knows it's going to destroy, it has the potential to destroy humanity. Now, I don't know what year this movie came out. I tried to look it up before I did this, but I didn't. I could come back later and tell you, but I'm not. The first movie that I ever saw that expressed the image that computers would take over the world if they became sentient or something like that. It's where they have the ability to think for themselves, and that's the artificial intelligence. And the first one I ever saw was a movie called Colossus. It was about a supercomputer. The computer was as big as the White House. You know, that's about what supercomputers were back then. Even a little. There was no such thing as a laptop back then. So, I forgot the ending of that one. You know, obviously the ending was all right. They figured out a way to beat Colossus. The next one I saw was I'm not sure if it was before or after the Terminator movies, but War Games. And in War Games, same thing. A computer decides to take over is told to defend the Earth or the United States. I forget which. It was the United States, and his way, the computer's idea of taking over or doing this was the first strike, and it goes through all the scenarios of a first strike. And then this kid comes up to the guy that built the computer, goes up to the computer and says, I forgot the computer's name because it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but anyhow says, would you like to play a game? And the computer says, certainly, Professor, and they play tic-tac-toe. Now, tic-tac-toe is, if you're smart, is played to a draw. The only way you lose in tic-tac-toe is if you make a mistake or you decide to let the other person win. So, you have the professor playing the computer at tic-tac-toe, and tic-tac-toe starts. You see tic-tac-toe is the screen, the computer screen. Tic-tac-toe just goes all through billions of permutations of tic-tac-toe, and then turns around and does the same thing with the scenarios of first strike. And at the end of it, he realizes nobody can win. It's an impossible situation. That took care of that one. All right? The next one up you see is the Terminator. Now, the Terminator is somewhat based upon a chip that Bell Labs in Whippany, New Jersey developed about where was I working when that happened? 1878, 79, something like that. Maybe earlier, I don't know. But I read about it in that period of time. Called the thinking chip, a chip that learned from its mistakes. And you never hear anything about it for a long, long time. I don't think I've ever heard anything more about it since the days that I read that article. But that same scenario is how the Terminator started. Somebody develops a chip that learns from its own mistakes. It's placed in various pieces of equipment that start to understand things. I don't know where it comes into that it defends the world, but at some point in time they decided to tell the computer its purpose was to defend the planet. And not humanity, the planet. And the first thing the computer realizes as it becomes the sentient being is that it's the greatest danger to Earth are humans. And scientists say that on almost a daily basis. The greatest threat, I wish I could speak English, the greatest threat to humanity is humanity. So there, those two stories, you know, don't make, and then that you got, but you can understand, and that applies to Elon Musk and artificial intelligence. He knows it's going to destroy mankind, but he doesn't care. You know, he's going to go out and use it because he can make billions of dollars. I don't know. That's people surprise me with their stupidity on an everyday basis. I was a bartender for a great many years, and you know, you see the bartenders talking and giving advice. You know, young people. I was older, so than most of the kids in the. I was the oldest employee at the time, so the kids would come up to me, to customers. They were 18. I was 31 when I started tending bar. So they would come up to me and they would sit down and they would tell me, you know, sometimes they would tell me there's troubles, you know, or whatever, and I didn't listen too much. But every once in a while, somebody I work with or something would come up and say something about, you know, what would you do? And you look at the kid and you say, this is a really nice person. They're really screwing up their life. And I'm not the person to be telling people that because I'm an alcoholic at that time. But anyhow, so you sit down and you give them sage advice. Great advice. You know, it's free. You can get it from any shrink, you know, self-help magazine, whatever. And these idiots go out and do the same shit all over again and get arrested, get in trouble, lose their girlfriends, whatever. You know? People don't listen to you. I've worked with people that were dealing drugs and said, listen, man, I don't think you should do that, but do yourself a favor. Don't do the stuff you're dealing. You're going to get caught. You're going to end up in jail. No, they don't listen. They all went to jail. And back then, it was 15 years mandatory sentence for possession. So, you know, I didn't mess with drugs back then. I smoked a little pot, a little weed every once in a while, but I never messed. I did some LSD, never did cocaine, never messed with the highly addictive drugs. Smoked a little opium, but the opium itself is not. You don't smoke it once and get addicted to it. You know, it's like you don't take one drink and get addicted to it. You gotta force yourself to go back and take another one after you throw up from the first one. It's like cigarettes. You know, people get addicted to cigarettes. The first puff of a cigarette makes you dizzy, makes you cough. So why? You know, peer pressure. That's why. Everybody's doing it. Well, not everybody. I guess everybody's doing artificial intelligence. I don't know. Anyhow, tomorrow they give the closing arguments, and theoretically, let's see, there's no court Wednesday. Theoretically, by Friday, they could have the jury in deliberations, but I doubt it. I think they'll probably wait till next week because this is how these idiots are. You know, it's all bullshit, especially from Trump's side. It's all motions and bullshit. But I think at least a week from now, today, we should have it for, not a week from today, but by, what's the date, I should say, let's see. Hopefully by June 7th or so, we should have a, I don't know what holidays are going to come up besides today being a holiday, but we might have a verdict. You know, I don't know how long they're going to deliberate, you know. I don't think it's a tough case. I think the punishment phase is the tough phase. But anyhow, that's it for me today. Listen, I don't know whether anybody actually watches these videos or not. You know, the analytics that I see aren't good, but I have it on other platforms besides YouTube. So if you don't like it or you like it, go to a comment section, go on Facebook or something, or send me an email, do whatever you have to do to let me know what's going on. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I probably am. But if you want to let people know, if you want to let me know what you're thinking, and if you think I'm nuts, do that. Just so I know you're alive and well out there. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.